Hello guys, and welcome back to another cold episode. On today's episode, we are back with some more Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links action, and so there is a new ban list that has come out, as well as skills that will be rebalanced. Sorry, the ban list hasn't actually come out, but there are skills that are being rebalanced, as well as a forbidden/limited list that will be changed as well. They will come out on March 24th. All of these changes, so you have about a month to play around before these changes come out. But let's talk real quick about the skills first and foremost. And as you can see, March 24th is when it's coming out. And starting right off the bat, Sealed Tombs, it's going to get changed. It's just so good against anything to do with the graveyard. So, there you go. Then you have Sorcery Conduit is also going to get nerfed. Element Sabers were abusing this to get to their, Alistair the Invoker in order to fusion summon. So that getting nerfed does make a lot of sense. You could just Cosmic Cyclone anything and then draw into your Alistair the Invoker. Compensation also getting hit pretty good as well, just because it was like, there was so many times you could mill with like Dark Lords, that it just made the deck that much more powerful. And so compensation getting hit absolutely makes sense. And then Spell Specialist, Trap Layer, and My Monster cards. These skills, the skill probability is getting lowered. So that nerfs a lot of the new decks that are coming out using My Monster cards. I think that this is very bad. I think, okay, these three getting changed, pretty good. Makes sense. Absolutely. These three getting changed and nerfing them in particular is what I don't like to see. Because I think the way to make the game better is to give players more options to do their combos, to do what they want to do. And I think with this, it kind of says to me, hey, we want to make more control decks and kind of focus more on the control side of things rather than necessarily the combo side of things, right? So we're going to kind of nerf the combo side of things, and we're going to increase the control kind of things, right? Because it just, I mean, yeah, they're taking out Sealed Tombs, which was a huge thing with control, but, I mean, most of the decks that used these were very combo-based. Shiranui, ninjas, I mean, not really even ninjas, but, like, ritual beasts and, dark cavalry and all of this stuff. So that's interesting that they're nerfing that. I'm not a fan of seeing that, in all honesty. Like, keep Spell Specialist, keep Trap Layer, keep My Monster cards. Those are good skills, in my opinion. Creator, the cards that you can be added to the hand with this skill will be strengthened to keep pace with the current metagame. I don't know what this does, in all honesty. I think you add, like, some of the banned cards, like Pot of Greed and stuff like that, and so potentially they're going to give you, like, a Raigeki or something, hopefully. But I know that you decrease by 2,000 life points, and then you can draw one of these really good cards, but I don't know if that's actually going to be too good. Cyberdark style changing, interesting. Might of the King as well as Bring It changing, also pretty interesting. This Might of the King is for Red Dragon Archfiend. Bring It is for searching your Destiny Hero Plasma. Pretty interesting. Then we got Chain Reaction and Love is Pain, just saying that they will match the skill effects, the skill text will have the same, will match the actual effect, right? So the effect will stay the same overall, it's just a change of text. So first and foremost, Sealed Tombs can be used now only if your life points are lower than your opponent's by 1,000 or more until the end of your opponent's next turn. Either player, same skill, Only can be used once per duel. Just adding your life points now have to be lower than your opponent's by 1,000. Right? Very interesting. I like it. Kills it off, basically. Unless you're playing, like, you know, a Cosmic Cyclone and you do happen to go first, and then you can, like, or you go actually second, and they're not playing something that already decreases their life points, and then you can, you know, Cosmic Cyclone and then Seal the Tombs. Which, again, that's like, okay, you're boosting Cosmic Cyclone again. Anyway, Sorcery Conduit. Now it's 1,500 life points, which that is so much more difficult to get to than the 1,000 that I think that basically just like kills that skill for Element Sabers, which is real good because that was really annoying. 100% of the decks basically were using this. Element Sabers, they're basically gone. Invoker is still probably good, but Element Sabers themselves, not so much. Compensation. Same kind of skill, right? However, it can only be used once per turn and twice per duel. It's dead. Dark Lords aren't going to use that ever again, basically. The skill text will remain the same. Meaning that Spell Specialist, Trap Layer, and My Monster cards, what they were doing is they were giving you extra, like, monsters within your hand, or extra spells, or traps, or what have you, right? You had an increased chance of basically getting what you were looking for, right? With Spell Specialist, you would get a guaranteed spell in your hand, and then you had a 50% chance of grabbing another spell, right? My monster cards, I think your first 3 cards had a really high chance of being a level 4 or lower monster. That's insanely good. Trap Layer, very similar to Spell Specialist, right? So I think they're just going to make it so that the actual skill matches the text. So that's kind of sad for me to see. Creator, the skill text will remain the same. The skill's effect will change. And I think they will be adding a few more cards to what Creator grabs, I believe. So who knows? Maybe Creator is actually something that they're gonna use. And you might actually end up using it to see, like, hey, maybe I get real lucky and get a Raigeki or something. And then Cyberdark style can be used each time your life points decrease by 1,000. Return a card from the hand. Return 1 card from your hand to the deck to grab up a Cyberdark monster from your deck to your hand. Pretty okay, but nothing great. I think it does make Cyberdark a little bit more consistent, but overall it's still like, meh. Bring It can now be used each time your life points decrease by 1,000 by returning a card from your hand to the deck to add a level 8 Dark Warrior type monster from your deck to your hand. Again, this is basically specifically a search Destiny Hero Plasma, right? So this is actually really good for that because now you can immediately use it instead of having to wait around for the next turn. Because it was on your normal draw phase that you would actually draw the next, or your Destiny Hero Plasma, and now it is, you can do it immediately. So that's actually a pretty big boost. Might of the King can be used if you control a Red Dragon Archfiend. You return a card from the hand to the deck to grab up a random Scarlet Security, Red Dragon Vase, or Crimson Fire. I'll tell you this, Scarlet Security is the only one that's actually useful, so the fact that you could grab either one of these two that are actually really bad makes it not worth it, since you can also only use it once per duel. It's better, but not great. So, yeah, because you already have to have the Red Dragon Archfiend on the field, which is like, eh. Chain Reaction and Love is Pain, just changing of the text. Nothing too much. Overall, these 3 are good. This 3 is bad, in my opinion. Right? Changing those are good. Changing these are bad. And then the rest, I think, is pretty whatever. Bring It Out is actually also a pretty good one. So, now let's quickly talk about the limited and / forbidden list. So, Grass That's Greener. Limited to 1. Basically, any deck that uses that grass look screener is dead. I'm surprised that they didn't just straight up ban the card. Like, legitimately just straight up ban it. Get it out. Doesn't need to be here anymore, kind of thing. Yeah, that's it. It's just like, I don't know why it's not banned. Just outright, but limiting it to one. No one's going to use this anymore. I mean, Spell Specialist getting hit as well as that grass looks greener. You're basically not going to use this card. Because you'd have to play it in a 30 card deck at least. And it's not going to be enough of a mill to really justify it. So, I'm happy about that. Now we're going to talk about the limited cards. And first and foremost, I just have to say that these two are good hits to the limited list, because it's just kind of like a, hey, stop using those tech cards. We want you to kind of play a little bit more even and kind of be on an even playing field a little bit more. So, I like that. These two, however, don't make as much sense to me, and honestly, I hate seeing it, because I play both of these decks a lot, and these are very important cards. They're key cards in those decks, right? Dark Alert decks are very difficult for many decks to defeat, so they're going to limit more cards to add deck diversity. I agree. However, I'm going to show you the rest of the list real quick. As you can see, they're not unlimiting any of the Dark Lord cards, which means Contact, which is currently at 2 as well, you would have to play at 1 if you want to play an Ixchel. Or you don't get Ixchel, you don't get a draw 2, which kills the deck. Dark Lords are gone. And a lot of people really didn't like Dark Lords. I know that, I understand that, and I mean, that's understandable, it really is. I, however, really did. I thought, currently, at this meta, the meta that we're currently in, with Ritual Beasts and Cyber Dragons and Cristrons at tier 3, Dark Lords and Shiranui and Blackwings at tier 2, and then Element Sabers and Dark Magicians all at tier 1, I figured that was actually pretty good. Maybe some rebalancing of the skills so that it's not quite as potent, and some of the other things kind of like get nerfed a little bit. And even I was like, yeah, nerf compensation, that thing's insane. Like, it's absolutely insane. But also nerfing Ixchel, they killed the deck, and I don't know why. Because this ban list legitimately makes me think about just straight up leaving Duel Links. Yes, because my deck, both of my decks, got hit by the ban list. But more so than that, it's kind of saying that Konami is more interested in shaking up the meta than like trying to give more options to more decks, right? And like instead of trying to like buff decks, they're trying to nerf decks so that other weaker things are more easy to play, right? And to that I say, that's not the way to do it. I think it is oftentimes better to just buff things, not overly buff anything, like slight nerfs and major buffs is kind of how you do it. If you really want a deck to be good, you increase its viability, right? And if you want a deck to be worse, you slightly hit it and kind of buff everything else around it a little. So that everything's kind of on an even playing field, and that way you can still play the decks, or you can still play the character, or what have you, right? In anything. And they didn't... Konami didn't do that. Konami's just like, you know what? These things that have been around for quite some time, like Dark Lord, that have answers. People know how to play around Dark Lords, right? If they really cared, they knew how to play around Dark Lords. They're just like, yeah, we're just gonna kill it. They're just gonna say, nope, they're not gonna play the game anymore. Which is so weird to me, because yes, they've been around for a long time, and I understand that, but in all reality, we don't even have all of the Dark Lord cards, and it just seems so odd to me, because in the TCG, that deck is not good. Dark Lords are not good. And so it's just like, due to the faster style of speed duels, and another thing is, this is supposed to be speed duels, right? And they're nerfing all of the things that make it fast. Ixchel, being able to search more cards so that you can get into your combo faster to kill your opponent faster in a speed duel. Ritual Beast Tamer Elder, again, same thing. You're able to, normal summon twice, which allows you to go into your actual combo, which speeds up the game. Orochi, setting that to 2. Now you can't have, your OTK nearly as heavily, because you won't be able to play your Hetrunade, because you have to play Orochi and Raikiri now, right? Which are both limited to 2, which Hetrunade is also limited to 2, so it's just one of those things where it's like, great, now you can't play Hetrunade, which, no more one-turn kills, kind of thing. Slowing down the game again. Shiranui Spectral Sword. This one, not as much, but all of the other ones, it's like, they're slowing down the game, but why? It's speed duels. It's supposed to be fast. It's supposed to just go boom, boom, boom. Like, I don't know what Konami's doing. Sure, you want to get Dark Lords out. That's fine. But why is Tamer Elder on here? What? That makes no sense. And same with Orochi the Squall. Like, what? What is Konami doing? This is okay. This is fine. Like, this also kind of slowed down the game, because it was just like, okay, great. Now they have all these other options in the graveyard that they're going to activate, and then you have to play around, and now you have to play a 30 card deck and stuff like that. And I do think that this was pretty good. Yeah, drawing it often nearly guarantees a victory. So, makes sense, right? This one makes sense. The rest of these is, like, especially Tamer, to me, like, makes no sense. Anyway, moving on. This is something that's really interesting. They started limiting cards to 3. And so, you can't play limited 3 cards at 3 with other limited 3 cards, right? So what did they hit? Cosmic Cyclone and Palace of the Elemental Lords. Now, Cosmic Cyclone, this is a good way to hit ultra rare cards, because it's just like, okay, you can play this card at 3, but you can't play it with, like, other limited to 3 cards. The only issue that I have is, like, why didn't they add, like, a lot of other cards to this deck, right? Like, I feel had they put Ixchel instead to limited to 3 with the Cosmic Cyclone, and maybe something else like Nastin as well, or Tez, or something like that, that would have been a good way to really nerf Dark Lords as well, while still being able to play the deck, right? For example, sorry, I'm talking about Dark Lords a lot, and I don't mean to, but, so we're going to talk about the ban list. Palace of the Elemental Lords, Cosmic Cyclone, both getting put to limited to 3 means you can't play them even in the same deck. Which means, basically, Element Sabers are dead. Invoker is okay, but Element Sabers are dead. And so, yeah. Now we have a no longer on the list, which means what deck didn't get hit, right? Cyber Dragons, Chrystrons, and Dark Magicians. Why are Dark Magicians not hit? Because there's not really a good way to hit them without, like, killing them, basically. So, yeah, their skill was hit, but overall, Dark Magicians are just so good right now. Hopefully, with the new Lightsworn cards that are coming out, as well as some of the other support from the new main box that's coming out, which I might do a video talking about that as well. Hopefully, Dark Magicians do decrease in popularity and decrease in meta viability, because honestly, I hate playing against them. They are, in my opinion, worse than Dark Lords, because they're just a worse version of Dark Lords, basically. Yeah, they don't specifically try to deck you out, but I think, honestly, what they should have done, from the very beginning, is when Dark Lords were really top tier, you limit Ixchel and the monster cards, rather than limiting Contact and Sanctified. I don't think that those were the problems. I do think it was things like Ixchel and Tez and Desire and Morningstar and stuff like that. And now it's just, this deck's dead. Anyway. But more dark magicians are gonna be seen. So if you like Dark Magicians, lucky for you, there will be more. So, Element Sabers, dead. Element Sabers are dead. However, moving on to the no longer on the list, Wiz, Sage for Hire. For Hires. Got some of their cards back. Pretty good. Cyber Petite Angel is also off the limited list. So, that's also pretty good. Cyber Angels might be. They're not going to be good. Sorry, my voice is dying. Vision Hero Vion. Yeah, it makes sense. They want heroes to be good. I don't think heroes are going to be good, but they want them to be good. So maybe with this Vion release, as well as Stratos and all of the other things just getting knocked down, maybe heroes have a chance. So, there you go. I don't know. I really have not liked many of the ban lists from Konami, because sometimes it looks like they just hit cards just to, like, shake up the meta, and I don't think that's the way to do that. But I mean, they're the ones in charge, so I don't want to argue with them. But I mean, I can't say that I'm gonna continue enjoying playing this game if this is the direction that it's expected to go. Plus, you know, you dump a lot of money and a lot of time and a lot of gems and all of this stuff to get, you know, the decks that you really enjoy playing, and then it's just like, okay, this deck is dead. You can't play it anymore. It's not allowed. That's why I was so surprised to see Ixchel here, as well as Tamer Elder. That's just, I don't play Black Wings, so that's not that bad as, you know, that's not as bad. Shiranui, I mean, it's not that bad as well. Most of the time you're only playing 2 anyway. But yeah, overall, it looks like they want to go into more of a control meta deck, and they really want to push this new box that's coming out and be like, hey, play this new box. Play all the things that are in it. Spend a lot of money on it. And to that I just say, why? Konami, why? Like, you just killed off everything. And I'm so confused. I don't know. Just these 4 cards right here just make me so frustrated. Even Spectral Sword being limited is so weird to me. Like, it's okay, but it's one of those things where it's like, but you already hit the, like, bad part of Shiranui, right? Like, I don't know. I guess they really just wanted to shake up the meta, even though the meta was pretty fine. Like, it was, I don't know. From what I've heard from a lot of different people, and what I've seen in, like, Twitch chats and stuff like that, most of the people actually liked this meta. And they were like, yeah, this is pretty good. Like, some of the skills are really annoying, but other than that, like, overall, the meta itself was pretty fun. So, I don't know. I think Konami's actually going to lose a lot of Dark Lords players. And just, like, they're just going to be gone, basically. And I might even be one of them. But we'll see. Anyway, I hope that you guys did indeed enjoy this episode. That's going to be it for this. I'm recording this late at night and I need to go to sleep, but I just couldn't not talk about this. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you did indeed enjoy, a like is very much appreciated. And if you want to see more content like this, as well as, well, potentially more Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, just be sure to subscribe. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and remember to always stay frosty. Bye-bye.